All right, all right, all right. Man, we're back.
We still can't see Jason.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're right. I will fix that shortly.
Well, while
Maybe.
Jason's working on his technical difficulties, let me get started here. Welcome back to another live edition of Feed Reed. My name's Paul Reed. I'm your host. Jason Crawford, who you can now see, is the man to my Johnny Carson, appearing from Tallahassee, where he's a lobbyist and/or
Yeah, that's what I am.
homeschool education,
Yep.
and so he's doing the good work up there in Tallahassee. And anyway, I'm down here in Brandon, Florida. It's very sunny, very beautiful, 78 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and we're glad to be here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's get right
Yeah.
into it. This one was literally hot off the presses.
Could have.
Evidently, a California jury, Jason, and Jason and I didn't talk about this beforehand. He's a
I'm
very busy
curious.
man. Very, very busy. Jason's a busy man. Busy, busy, busy.
Yes, I am.
Awarded a gentleman $50 million. Now, from a plaintiff's perspective, cha-ching.
You can do a lot with that. Yeah.
So, well, yeah, that's a good one. Well, I got news for you. We'll jump into it. Maybe people haven't heard about the Starbucks iced tea or hot tea issue, which is what happened here. But oh no,
Okay.
no, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion. No, 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 no,
What?
no, 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 no. So let's. I think you have a video of the incident.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. You want to
A
start there?
gentleman goes through the drive-through at Starbucks in California. He orders evidently hot tea, is either one or multiple drinks. And here's what happens.
So this footage is from 9 News, just to give them credit for what we're pulling it
Yeah,
from. There
we
he
didn't
goes. He
create the
drives
wheel.
off.
We
Yeah.
got it from the internet. No
So she
problem.
hands it. She hands it through the door.
Watch the poor guy's face.
He grabs it. He's got it in his hands. He smiles, and then boom, all over his lap. Oh, the knee jerk reaction. Hold on. Yeah.
Take your time, because people may
Bam.
not have seen this.
Okay. Yeah. No, I hadn't. Yeah. He kicks back. Yeah, that would have been painful. That would have been painful.
Well, he had. Are we done? We back, you and I?
Yes. Yeah. It's just yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a permanent disfigurement to his pee-pee.
Oh. Oh
Skin
no.
grafts, nerve damage,
Oh no.
disfigurement, loss of use. The list goes on and on and on.
Wow.
Yeah. So a jury awarded him $50 million. And like I said, that's not enough. But
I was gonna say, is that the going price these days?
I don't think so. I think they lowballed him.
Oh man, I can't. Oh, don't laugh at that. That's so bad. So bad.
That just came up with that. Well,
yeah, it's a singer.
So anyway, interestingly, okay, so the jury comes back, and now, of course, Starbucks is going to appeal because the verdict was excessive, right?
Okay.
Do you want to hear what a joke that is?
Yeah, what do they say?
Like, they offered him $30 million before trial.
Okay.
You offered him 30 million, 50 million. What's the difference? I mean, I know 20 million is a lot of money.
Sure.
But
once you're there,
it's just, what's this case worth? And Starbucks definitely thought burning your pee off is worth 30 million.
30. Yeah.
And he thought it's worth probably 100 million. Because remember, he didn't. If the jury awards you 50 million, from a psychology point of view, you ask for 100 million.
Right. Okay.
You never ask for what you want, and that's just how this works.
Sure.
No different than if you go to a flea market and you want to buy something, you say, "I'll give you 25 cents for it." They want $5, and you get it for $2.
I want $5.
You following me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So number one,
negotiation.
They offered 30 million, so you obviously, and of course we did nothing wrong, and the jury's out of control. All the standard things that you hear whenever you roll the dice and lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was just, I came across that and said, well,
Yikes.
that'd be interesting because, we had talked about the McDonald's coffee case back in what happened in 1994,
Mm-hmm.
where
Right.
the lady spills hot coffee in her lap and she had multiple surgeries and all
Yeah.
she asked them to do was pay for the medical bills. And uh-oh, they're playing my song, ambulance
Oh
going by.
no, you're so bad.
So all she did was the
Yeah.
medical bill. Of course, they rolled the dice and lost that one. Now
Yeah.
she didn't get 50 million. She got a
She
couple of
got
million back in
3.
90.
Yeah.
And
3.
here's the deal on this one. So they offered him 30 million, and he says, "Fine, I want an apology, and I want you to put in some type of training to make sure this doesn't happen again." And they said no.
What was it that they were saying? I mean, the facts of the
She didn't put the
case?
lid on. Either she didn't put the lid on properly, or if when you stick the beverages into that container, almost like your card holder,
Yep.
it,
Yeah.
it kind of it kind of pops in
Plops in. Right. Right. Right.
and kind of is secure. And if you kind of put it just halfway or whatever, you see what happens. It'll
Yeah.
flip over on you.
So
And
so
I
they're
think that
saying that.
happened. I had 4 sodas one time, and they were just sodas. I put them on the passenger side floorboard. I'll be darned if when I made a turn and one of them didn't dump over.
Yeah.
So it happens. You got to make sure they're in and secure.
And when they looked at it, they totally confirmed that okay, that was our error. We didn't
Well, you kind
secure
of
it.
if you watch the video, you see he just got it in his hands and it just dumps right on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
put
see
it this
that.
way: if they thought it was secured, I got news for you. They wouldn't have offered him $30 million. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
we
That's true.
got these cases. I think, in fact, I have one
Mhm.
right now where I filed suit on it. And
Mm.
what this was Checkers over here on Parsons and MLK,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess they have what's called Buford bites. And
Yes.
with Buford
Yes.
bites, it comes with cheese.
Mm.
Cheese is hot. Oh, we lost Jason again.
Sorry, I'll be back.
That's okay. I guess the cheese is hot. Well, when she dipped her Buford bite into the cheese, dude, it burned her finger. It burned her
Ooh.
finger pretty bad.
Oh
Now, is
wow.
50 million? No,
Mm.
but it's worth something.
Yeah, I
And
just
we asked
that
them, and like anything, pound sand. We're not giving you anything.
I
Uh,
guess one of the not that it's a benefit at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I guess one of the benefits of, if I could use that word, this case is that the damages are, let's say, anyone
Terrific.
can
Well,
appreciate them, and
yeah.
they're obvious.
Oh
They're
yeah.
pretty obvious. So it's kind
I
of
don't know. To get $50 million, they might have flopped up a picture or two to the jury on that one.
man.
Yeah. Well, remember, you got to understand people out there in TV land. You don't pull the wool over jurors' eyes. 6 jurors, 12 jurors, whatever your jurisdiction is.
Mm-mm.
You either have injuries or you don't.
Right. Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't, guess what? You're not getting any money from the jury.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest, even if you do, Jason,
Yeah.
you may not get money from a jury.
That's
People
right.
are
Yep.
very skeptical nowadays. And so this
But
jury
and I
sees
guess
something pretty bad, pretty horrific. I'm going to say,
yeah.
I'm going to go way past bad, pretty
Yeah.
horrific to award $50 million.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it, which was sometimes you're in a car accident, and you're like, oh my neck, oh my back, and
Right.
while they can be legitimate injuries, they're not that visible, and it you guys have to put together cases for them and get the medical records and all of that together and show it and demonstrate it, and I think not that it's a benefit at all, but I think one of the benefits in this case for him is that damage was pretty straightforward and obvious and catastrophic, horrific, like you were saying. So that makes it a little bit more less relieves the skepticism, like you were saying, on the
Well,
part of
that's
the
a good
jury.
point. And let me having done, this 28 years and tried more cases than I can count. You're
Hmm.
exactly right. when it comes to your neck and your back with herniated disc and things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
you can put up the MRIs or the X-rays and you can say there it is, but there's nothing like showing an X-ray where you're looking at something that's snapped in half.
Yeah. Right.
There's no, well, ladies and gentlemen, his leg's only a little
Really?
broken.
I
You
walk
know,
like this now. Right.
right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. And I got news for you. Those cases, 99% of the time don't go to trial.
This is your appointment reminder.
Because insurance companies don't like injuries that you can see.
Mm.
Now, this case went to trial, obviously, because they offered 30 million. They couldn't agree, and they wanted more. They couldn't agree on a number.
That's wild.
That's all that happened here. These two sides couldn't agree on a number. And so, honestly, the plaintiff rolled the dice in hopes that they would do better than $30 million.
Yeah. And so there,
Well,
and he did.
Because
And he
let me
did.
tell you a true story.
Okay.
I was in the Hillsborough County courthouse on the either the fourth or fifth floor. I believe the fifth floor was still circuit court civil, even 20 years ago.
Okay.
And sixth floor is the big courthouse. That's the tobacco cases, the big malpractice cases, because there's exhibits, there's teams of lawyers, there's this, that. It's just that's the big courthouse. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the judge's courtroom. It's called a just drew a blank, but it's just where there's all the lawyers in there. You talk, you get about 2 minutes, and you get to do your spiel, and then the next one gets up, and then the next one.
Pre-trial, or is it?
No, it's even before pre-trial, and I just drew a blank, but it's a cattle call on motions, basically, and it might pop into my head.
Okay.
Like I said, going blank. But bottom line is, you just sit at the table. It's kind of interesting because the judge will call the case, and the two lawyers are arguing their side, and then the judge will rule, and it goes on and on and on. And some of them are just stupid, like, what are you doing here? And some of them are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of a sudden you hear like code red or code blue or code whatever, or whatever terminology means something's going on in a courtroom somewhere and we need help. All right. So obviously it was whatever, sixth floor. So our two bailiffs, or one bailiff, really only one because it's only lawyers and whatever, they all fly out of there, and come to find out, it was a tobacco case, which are very difficult, and it was a death case, very difficult, and they had offered the estate, the family, the kids, the wife, whomever, $1 million. All right, and so they turned it down while the jury was out deliberating. Well, evidently they came back and gave them nothing.
Oh.
And one of the family members bugged and really charged it the jury was going to attack them.
Wow.
Just like you see on TV. Now, mind you,
Wow.
I wasn't part of the case. I didn't see it. I just happened to be in the courtroom on this particular day when it happened. And the moral of that story is turning down $30 million, even if you have arguably a very, very bad burn to your genital areas, that's risky.
That's risky.
Big risk. So, God bless him. As a plaintiff's lawyer, I can appreciate it. My guess would be, and I don't know this lawyer, but that's a good payday.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
And,
there's so many jokes that you can make. It's so tragic.
I don't know if the lawyer told the client to turn it down.
I don't know.
The client told the lawyer to turn it down. I don't know if they were in agreement, but either way,
I would love to know that.
Either way, that's some sack.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You've got balls of steel.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, right, turn it down and risk it. That's like Yeah, because I mean, 30 million is a lot. So there's, it's got to go through one's mind. Be like, that's quite a bit. We could probably, you're not getting. There's some things you can't get back, no matter how much money is spent. But there are ways.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, back to the legislative agenda up in Tallahassee. I saw.
Yes.
We talked a week or two ago. The the free kill bill, which is the wrongful death medical malpractice, where if you're not married and you don't have a child under the age of 25, basically you get your funeral expenses and a few other things of that nature. Well, that has
Right.
moved from, I believe, one committee into a broader committee where it at least didn't get killed yet.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it, if they actually repeal that law, that statute. But
hmm
anyway, that's an updated. It's not dead yet. Give
What
it
is the
time.
bill number on that one? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah. And then the other is a couple of years ago, because of the insurance crisis, they did away with attorney's fees to like homeowners if you prevail against your insurance company.
Okay.
They called it the one-way attorney's fees provision. Well, they see that that was a mistake, and it was, because these hurricane claims are a joke. Insurance companies aren't paying. You can go on and on and on as to what these companies are doing and what they're doing with the money and how people are just getting the shaft. So now,
Mm.
at least that bill is moved forward, and it's a loser pays bill, which is fine. Meaning, if the insurance company prevails, well, the loser, the homeowner or whomever, has to pay their fees.
Mm.
That's more of a balance than nothing at all.
Mm.
So anyway, those two bills have moved forward. I know Jason's got some issues up in Tallahassee with his
Yeah.
homeschool.
Do you want to hear some they're not home education related bills, but they're kind of like why I'm doing this kind of bills? There's
Briefly.
It might give you it might be potential future customers for you.
I doubt it, but go ahead.
So there in St. Johns County, there's a bill in St. Johns County, or there's not a bill. There's a bill to stop this, but what they're doing in St. Johns County is they are introducing heart monitoring devices on all the children, and then putting their heart monitoring information up where everyone can see it, and then they're teaching self-regulation. And Johnny, you might be a little you're in the red right now, Johnny. You want to bring it down a little, or I can only imagine where this goes in the future. It's like, hey, if you can't self-regulate, what do we do, class? Self-medicate. That's right. Like,
Yeah.
dude. But like, can you imagine putting your kids like health information up there and your heart monitors up for everyone to see in the class? It's no longer like red light, yellow light, green light. It's behavioral modification through. That's wild.
It's the stuff
that's wild.
Going on is scary. Luckily, I'm
You're done with that.
Hopefully be around to see a lot of it, because it's not getting better. It's just getting worse. But anyway, I would just stay away from politics here. Woo! Just because it's such a hot topic for every one person.
It truly is.
That thinks that it's a good idea. There's a person that thinks it's a bad idea, and vice versa.
Hey, look, all the great ideas.
It's just best to stay away from that stuff, regardless of your views. I mean, there's, I was the Department of Education. Trump basically nixed that. And Michelle, who's right next door, is my paralegal. I've known her 40 years at least, comes in. Can you believe that Donald Trump, gutted or got rid of the Department of Education at the federal level? And I said, well, and it's just me. I'm like, well, what do they do? Anyway, I mean, I'm my boss, Michelle. Of course, no one knows. And I said, well, we've got the Hillsborough County School Board. We've got a Hillsborough County Superintendent. We've got the state of.
You mean elected officials locally that can? Yeah.
I said, what do they do? I don't know. I said, well, I don't know. So good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and it's another thing. Again, I don't want to do politics, because whether Trump is right, whether he's wrong, whether federal employees deserve their job, whether federal employees don't deserve their job, that is not the point of this next little segment.
Yeah.
I saw some lady freaking out over how dare somebody ask me what I did in the last 5 days. I mean, freaking out. I'm thinking, well, I settled 10 cases. I filed 2 or 3 lawsuits. I went to court on a motion for summary judgment, on a motion to compel.
Yeah.
I signed up 15 clients. I mean, you could go on and on and on
Yeah.
what I did this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Jason Crawford, the Johnny, Edmund Man to my Johnny Carson, could tell TV World what he did this week.
A ton. Yeah.
But to freak out about, I can't believe I've got to tell somebody what I did. That I did something. Well, if you're freaking out about it, I'd fire you too.
You know, I think people get their hair raised over the word politics and when politics is brought up. And I think probably the most adverse part of the topic is the concept of like voting for my team or playing for my team. It's not a team sport. Politics is about ideas and sharing ideas to come at the best solutions. And I think we've just kind of lost sight of that.
It used to be.
We've lost sight of what it's supposed to be.
That's why I don't lose my mind over it now. It's just a joke. Everybody knows.
Now it's just clap and clap back, and that's sad.
It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Ain't no other way to say it. So I really don't. You know, I do Instagram, and I watch the little reels, but the funniest ones are where the cats are smacking the dogs.
Those are great. The cat ones are awesome.
They put the cats fighting each other, flipping to
with the lightsabers.
To wrestling moves. Oh, slam! Oh, choke slam! The rest of the crap, it just rolls.
Man. Teach your algorithm. Teach your algorithm how to make you laugh.
I'll listen to some of the comedians. They're pretty funny. But I used to what do you call it? DVR like the world news on a couple of different stations. I don't watch the news anymore.
No.
If you watch, like I said, you watch Fox News, then you're gonna do that way. If you watch CNN, you're gonna do that way. It's just,
and you know what?
There's nothing true about what the news is saying. Even on social media, I saw something the other day, and I from a legal perspective, I knew I was reading it. This is just wrong. It just, it had to do with a rule of federal procedure and how things are supposed to work, and then how somebody got screwed because they used the rule. And I'm like, that's just a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lie. I'm sure there are people out there when it comes to their job or whatever it is they do for a living or what their educational background is, they'll read something and say, what a lie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if you don't know any difference, it's not your area of expertise.
Dude, I get that and where I'm at all the time.
It could be
the time.
So,
biggest lie I've heard in my field was when all the news outlets were saying that the parents were siphoning money out of the public education system. And the truth is, the public schools can actually be providers in the scholarship. They were never out. They've always been able to benefit from the scholarship. So it's like
that's my point. You can unfortunately you can say anything on a number of platforms that may or may not be true, and then it just boom. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. We're trying to stay away from politics here.
Good.
There's no win. It's lose situation.
You know what the beautiful thing is though? I took the kids hiking the other day, and they walked like
Tallahassee, so that's good.
They walked like 13 miles with backpacks on their packs, and they were tired and worn out. And then we got home, and the world hadn't fallen apart while we were gone from technology. So do what you need to do. Do what's in front of you. Get through your day. Like
Sergeant Slaughter, Mr. Crawford's poor kids. Their physical education is a 13-mile, 50-pound backpack hike through the Tallahassee Forest.
That's right, baby.
You can't say they're not getting their physical education.
Good luck.
All right, Jason. Well, take us out. It's a beautiful day. Go. There's 180 something hours in a week. I don't know what it is. I think 86. Go spend one of them in church and tell Jesus thank you for everything He's blessed you with.
Love it.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family.